now.
The water is high. It's very risky. Is there any way we could send a code red out to our hunt residents asking them to find higher ground?
10-4 standby. We have to get that approved with our supervisor.
I got just a chance to talk to one of the deputies that's closed off the road here where 27 and 39 meet, and I asked him what is happening, where is this happening? He goes, all over the area, people are being rescued, they're being evacuated, and right there in the middle of your screen, that is a car that you're seeing floating down the river.
Look how fast that water is going. That was one of the issues that I saw when they got in the boats, trying to fight those currents. Right. You know, and obviously trying to look for any possible missing people that have been reported. Again, we're still hearing that there are several people who are unaccounted for at this time, and unfortunately multiple fatalities that they haven't even given us a number just yet.
So the only way that they're able to rescue people is via aircraft. Now we have a helicopter flying above us. They cannot deploy their boats into the river because it is so swollen and that current is so strong.
Look, it was the worst of it's the worst of storms, the worst of circumstances, the worst location, the worst time of night, and you have an emergency manager who retired 2 days before, you have one that's sick, and you have a judge that's missing in action. That was the worst situation.
Still gives me chills. Somber day in the Hill Country. Today marks exactly 1 month since the rivers in the Hill Country rose and the deadly waters took at least 135 lives. We're going to take a look at everything that's happened since then and what comes next in just a few minutes. But first, we want to discuss some of our top stories for this evening. We'll start here where Texas Democrats have avoided an attempt to push a new elections map, at least for now. So the deal is that right now, Texas House Democrats are not in Texas tonight. They're trying to stop Republicans from redrawing congressional districts in their favor. To be clear, though, the Democrats, they don't have the votes to win this fight. But by skipping a session today, they kept Republicans from being able to take it up. The rest of the House voted to issue civil arrest warrants on the Democrats. But the thing with that is that those warrants only apply in state.
I am hopeful there'll be more members here tomorrow. But I am disappointed that while these members are here reporting for their duty under the Constitution, others are out of the state, in New York, in Chicago, in places they do not represent, obviously getting lots of attention at this time.
So Governor Greg Abbott threatened to remove Democrats from their positions if they don't come back. But he has no power to do that. As for what comes next, it's unclear what it's going to take to bring the Texas Democrats back to the state.
Look, I didn't run for office to walk out of the Capitol, but I also didn't run for office to stand by while democracy is stolen in broad daylight. Texas Democrats broke quorum because sometimes the only way to uphold your oath is to refuse to play along with a rigged game.
So 2 of the seats that are up for redistricting are in South Texas, one in Houston, another in Dallas, and the 5th one stretches between San Antonio and Austin. In other news tonight, San Antonio police are looking for 4 men who stole money from a worker as he was restocking an ATM just southwest of downtown. Happened shortly after 9 a.m. in a parking lot on South Zarzamora, just north of Highway 90. Police are saying that the worker was servicing the ATM, and when he opened it, the 4 men rolled up and demanded that he get out of the way. Police say the criminals took off with cash boxes from the ATM, and when officers later found the boxes along Zarzamora Street, they didn't have any money. The West Nile virus now in Bexar County. Metro Health confirming that the virus was found in a mosquito trap on the north side near West Avenue and Blanco Road. On Wednesday, authorities are planning to spray that area. So far this year, 9 people have tested positive for West Nile virus. So leaders are telling people to eliminate any standing water on their properties, also to use insect repellent and wear protective clothing, especially at dawn and dusk. In the month since the deadly floods demolished parts of Kirk County, we have learned so much about the emergency response the morning of July 4th and also the emergency alert system. Riverend General Manager Scott Towery was credited with alerting guests to the rising floodwaters that would soon wreck that resort and hunt. Look at that. But he says that a notification was delivered to his phone after the water had already begun to recede.
5:30 in the morning is when we got our first alert. Hours into this that was upsetting.
So despite the fact that Kirk County has used the Code Red emergency alert system for 16 years, when a rescuer called for one to go out on that fateful morning, he was told that sending the alert would require a higher up to sign off. So that led to a more than 1 hour delay before those alerts finally went out to the public.
Is there any way we can send a code red out to our Hunt residents asking them to find higher ground?
10-4 standby. We have to get that approved with our supervisor.
Also, internal Kerrville emails reveal that the city's off-duty firefighters weren't called in to their respective stations until just before 9 a.m., which, if you remember, was hours after it had already become a catastrophic flooding event. For a full look at the timeline and also what else we learned about that morning, you can scan the QR code on your screen. You could also visit our website, KSAT.com.
It is truly hard to start over.
As the Hill Country marks this milestone, the destruction is becoming a lot clearer. Recently, I sat down with Brenda and Mike Trollinger. Their home in Ingram was destroyed, and the reality is setting in that it's going to be a while before they're allowed to go back home. You're about to meet them right now, and also the contractors who are helping them and other Hill Country families rebuild.
Almost felt like the world was coming to an end.
It'll be a while before last month's floods become a distant memory for Brenda and Mike Trollinger.
I could see the water was coming in through the baseboards, and it had got up under the floor of the laminate, and it was starting to squish. And I yelled at my wife. I said, "Hey, get up."
The Trollingers' home is about 400 yards away from the river, and they were here July 4th just as those floodwaters were rising. And to give you an idea as to how high the water went up, this is a water line. It's about 7 feet up from the ground.
After the waters receded, the Trollingers returned home to a muddy mess. Volunteers and cleanup crews helped clear everything out. And now the real work begins.
Their range was there, their kitchen sink was there. He loved his hickory cabinets.
Are you going to be able to salvage them?
No, but we can rebuild them.
Joel Dooley and Katie Culver are contractors with Kerrville Design Build. Since the tragedy, they've received supplies and monetary donations to help families like the Trollingers rebuild their homes.
And our goal is no cost to the customer.
And this isn't just any job for Katie and Joel. The Trollingers and other flood victims are their neighbors, so they want to make sure no one takes advantage of them.
When things like this happen, people start flooding in from all over, even out of state, to take advantage of the work.
As for the Trollingers, they're grateful for the support.
We have to, be strong again. We have each other. I'm very grateful for that.
And they're counting down the days until they can finally enjoy their home again.
What's the one thing you're looking forward to?
Thanksgiving again at my house.
She has a big family now, so
yeah, it's just, but it'll be okay if we're not, it'll be okay. I mean, we're here and I'm grateful, and I want to get out there and help others is what I want to do. Because we're not the only ones that suffered.
Isn't that incredible? They lost so much, and they're thinking about what they can do for other people. They're really good people with good hearts. Now, Joel and Katie, the contractors that you heard from there, think that the Trollingers are going to be back in their homes in about 4 to 6 months. We've heard from a lot of people who are looking for resources to support themselves after the floods. And if you're one of those people, FEMA is accepting applications. Eligible survivors can get support for things like rent, home repairs, food, water, personal hygiene items, fuel for transportation, also funeral expenses. After applying, people should get a letter from FEMA with more information. Now, the quickest way to apply to FEMA is online at disasterassistance.gov. Survivors can also use the FEMA mobile app, or they can call the FEMA helpline at 1-800-621-3362. But if you're in Kirk County and you need immediate help, this is also a really good resource. You can go to the Disaster Recovery Center. It's at the First Baptist Church at 625 Washington Street, and it is open every day from 8 to 7. But if you want to apply for any of this assistance, you have a deadline. Flood survivors have until Thursday, September 4th to apply for FEMA disaster assistance. So you know that next year, Kirk County is increasing its budget. It includes $400,000 for autopsies, also $10 million on road repairs, and that's based off of a FEMA estimate. They're also looking at $2 million in lost revenue from taxes on properties that won't be collected. In total, the county is looking at about $71 million in total expenses, with about a $12.5 million budget deficit in the 2026 budget. A teacher says that he blacked out after a student attacked him. Chris Johnson says that it happened while working with special needs children at Judson Middle School last December. He says that doctors diagnosed him with a cognitive delay. Over the last year, KSAT Investigates, you know this, has been reporting on the number of teachers who have been hurt by students in the classroom. Johnson says this was the first time that he's ever been hurt on the job.
Have you seen any of your colleagues get hurt by students?
Yes, there was several other people that got hurt during that time. A couple of concussions, broken fingers or dislocated fingers, a couple of fractured ribs, several people quit.
The Judson ISD said that it terminated Johnson's contract this spring because his teacher certification expired. Tomorrow on the Nightbeat, Johnson is going to tell KSAT Investigates' Daniela Ibarra about the changes that he wants to see in these school districts in order to keep other people safe. Don't go away, because still ahead, you're going to see as several groups push back on Project Marvel. County leaders now are asking what you think about it. Also, donations have been pouring in for the victims of the Hill Country flooding. We're going to introduce you to one individual, that individual who has been fundraising to help the pets that were affected. It's an adorable story. You'll catch it right after the break. We've been seeing donations of all sizes coming in across the state to help victims of the flood. Well, tonight we're going to take you to Boerne, where a 9-year-old girl has been collecting thousands of dollars. The night team's Avery Everett shows us how keychains are going to help keep Kerrville pets alive.
And it took us a lot of tries to get it right.
Hundreds of keychains hang in this collection. But what you can't see from this display is that the designer is only 9 years old.
And I wanted to do something, I wanted to help, and so I thought I could make little keychains.
Meet Grayson Gonzalez.
Show us how you start. We can pick anything.
She's the soon-to-be 4th grader, making keychains to collect donations for animals affected by the Hill Country floods.
My goal is to help all of these pets get home.
Using her family iPad.
You can move your heart, you can move the paw.
Her creativity.
Blue and purple?
Blue and purple, okay.
Let's do that.
And a 3D printer she got for Christmas.
Download.
Grayson has made more than 200 keychains.
It's coming out blue now.
And she's raised even more money.
How much have you raised?
Almost 3,000.
Your smile just got so big.
I was really shocked.
All the donations she makes will go to Kerrville Pets Alive. They're a group taking care of animals after the floods. Grayson got her own dog, Boo, from a sister organization in San Antonio.
So Boo is part of your inspiration then, huh?
Yes.
As the orders continue to roll in, Grayson says she's glued to her chair.
It's like a full-time job for you at this point.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Every keychain she makes is different, but the message here is all the same.
It says Hill Country Song.
Proving age is just a number.
It looks great.
And help can come from any hand. Avery Everett, KSAT 12 News.
And those are some tiny hands, but she's got a big heart. Oh, I love little Grayson. So $100 million. That is how much the Community Foundation of the Texas Hill Country has raised in 1 month for flood victims. Now, if you've been impacted by the floods in a direct way, the Community Foundation encourages you to fill out a resource assessment. And you can find that by scanning the QR code on your screen or looking for this story on the homepage of KSAT.com. So we've told you a lot about Project Marvel. Not everybody's for it, and boy, are they making it known. The proposed downtown sports and entertainment district would include a new arena for the Spurs. Several groups, including Cops Metro and Doméstica Unidas, are asking for a renewed community-centered review on the project. They have concerns about the infrastructure, also the cost. Tomorrow morning, the public can give their opinion on a new sports arena at the Commissioners Court meeting. All right, time now, 10:17, 83 degrees out there. We're talking triple digis, right? That's what you've called them. And rain chances?
Yeah, a little bit of rain chances.
A
few little small chances, but triple digits will return. Today we had natural shade, the clouds from the very early morning hour showers that moved into parts of our area. The leftover clouds gave us the shade, and we only hit 93 this afternoon. Not bad. Now let's get right to our futurecast. Tomorrow afternoon, some coastal showers possible. Really close to the coastal bend and right there the Gulf coastline. But one or two could drift toward Hallettsville, Yorktown, Cuero, Victoria, Beeville. You know, the usual areas where some of those little coastal showers can pop up. We get into Wednesday, and it wouldn't surprise me if a few highly isolated brief showers popped up closer to San Antonio. And that would be Wednesday afternoon. I mean, we're talking very limited coverage here, but I think we have just enough instability and could have some of those patchy clouds turn into a brief downpour or two across parts of south central Texas, but nothing significant. Here's the overall pattern, and the big blue H, the upper level high that we're so accustomed to in the summertime and what summers past was centered right over us, giving us nothing but heat and sunny days. It's anchored over the desert southwest, so basically northern Mexico, Arizona, and New Mexico. And with the clockwise circulation around it, that puts us in this northerly steering flow. And that means sometimes we get the North Texas wild card, which we did last night and early this morning. So sometimes clusters of storms can organize and come together, Oklahoma, North Texas, and then be pushed our way. And that's what we had late last night / early this morning, especially between San Antonio and Houston. And it's something we watch out for in these weather patterns. We talked about the potential of this last week. And of course, it's just that wild card that we keep an eye on, but don't factor it into these rain chances here. These are separate than that wild card, which can come up kind of as spur of the moment. 10% chance on Wednesday, then a 10 to 20% chance next Monday. So nothing significant, no big pattern shift. I want to give you some updated information here. The drought monitor, this is the latest one. Of course, it's updated every Thursday, and I'm going to outline the parts of our area that are considered in drought. The yellow is just abnormally dry, but once you get into the browns and then reds, that means you're in drought. This is how much rain has fallen on those drought-stricken areas and will be taken into account for the next drought monitor this upcoming Thursday. And really, I mean, we're talking western Guadalupe County over 3 inches, parts of Bandera County 1 to 2.5 inches. So hopefully some improvements here and there come Thursday. And of course, we'll get that to you right away in the morning. 93, our high temperature today. We broke our 5-day streak of triple-digit temperatures. So far this year, we've had 9 triple-digit days, and we're behind pace of summers past, especially 2023 and 2022. 76 in the morning, 89 at noon, 99 the high temperature tomorrow. A lot of sunshine, just some patchy clouds in the afternoon. We'll be near that 100-degree mark tomorrow for most of us, at 100 along the border and south of town in the typically warmer spots. Kerrville, though, 94, 97 the high, New Braunfels, 99 in San Antonio. Then it's back to triple digits, and we'll continue to tally them up and add them to our counter. And, you know, it's August. Average high is 97, 100, you know, not unusual.
I still reserve the right to complain. That's what you want to see on your kid's report card, right? That's not the forecast that you want to see.
That certainly wasn't my report card.
I know. Well,
we could have told you that.
Cards, it is time. It is time, my friends, for high school football. It's back.
It is back. Photojournalist Mark Mendez and KSAT 12 sports anchor reporter Mary Rominger were out this morning covering some midnight high school football practices. They went to Lytle, they went to Holy Cross. We got more on that. And De'Aaron Fox with the Spurs. He has a new deal, and he's talking about it. Coming up. The first day of high school football practice kicked off today for a lot of programs. Some even started at midnight to celebrate. KSAT 12 Sports' Mary Rominger has more.
Hey, Larry, yeah, this really has to be one of the best traditions in high school football and maybe even sports as a whole. Teams hitting the gridiron at midnight as soon as they get the green light to begin their practices for the upcoming 2025 season. We're starting off our route in Lytle as the Pirates are wasting no time in front of a packed house to begin their preps for 2025.
experience, honestly, and also feeling. Not a lot of schools in Texas get to do this every year, like 30 years in a row. It's pretty special.
It's actually pretty good to see. We still have people out here supporting at midnight, so I can't wait till what Friday nights are going to be like. We just got to keep it pedal to the metal. We won 5 straight games last year, or we were 5-1, and I just think we got a little bit complacent. Thought we were going to, smash all these other teams, and we just lost 4 in a row, and it just didn't turn out the way we wanted to. But this year, I think we learned from last year. I think we're going to have a good season this year.
All right, the energy in Lytle was contagious, but now we are at Holy Cross to see how the 2024 TAPS Division III state runners-up do midnight practice.
Man, I'm fired up. We get to start football practice in the state of Texas. This should be like a national holiday around here.
It felt great. I mean, just the support of the community and, just the music, everything down to the little details.
Last year we came up short of the goal, so we all have a little bit of fire in us to try to get it back and finish the job this year.
Well, that was a common theme across Lytle and Holy Cross. Last year's disappointments fueling an intense midnight practice to kick things off for the 2025 season. We'll send it back to you, Larry.
Thank you, Mary. And the Stockdale varsity football team also held midnight practice as they prep for the new season. Stockdale went 6-5 last season, advancing to the by-district round of the playoffs. Thanks to Bailey Sherrard, the head cross-country coach and social media manager at Stockdale High School, for sending us that video. We also stopped by Davenport High School this morning, where the Wolves were fired up for their first practice. And to spice it up, they have a battle going on for QB1.
We have a sophomore, Tristan Torres, and then we have a junior, Brady Eggleston. They've both been going at it back and forth, and through spring, one would have a little bit better day than the other. Then the next day, the other one would have a little bit better day. All through 7-on-7 this summer. So right now, it's anybody's ball game.
They're both young guys, but they're great at what they do, and they've put in the work this summer, and so whoever's at the starting position, I trust that they're going to excel. Our offense is really built around just tempo and going, so a lot of our first practice is going to be just getting ourselves conditioned and just ready to move at full speed.
I think as a defense, our chances are really high. Our front seven is unbelievable. Our corners, safeties, they need some work, but I trust those guys. I trust all of them. I think we all work really good as a team, and we will be really good this year.
The strength of the Wolves this season will be in the trenches. All right, De'Aaron Fox talks his contract extension after the break.